What up, suckers? Hey, this is Jesse Morris here. Coming in, I want to do a part two to my video, continuation. Today, well, actually 2 days from now, but I couldn't wait. I am 6 months Narc free. That's right, got rid of my Narc 6 months ago, went ghost, haven't had any contact other than court, that I had to be there and see her on video. But that was it. My family, me, and my children have been done for 6 months. And I gotta tell you, life is a lot more peaceful now. It is just so we can live. You know what I mean? There's a difference when you're in an abusive relationship with domestic violence and a narcissist, and in my case, she was also an addict. You feel like every day that you're just surviving. You know what I mean? And one of my brother said to me, pretty best, said, "Look, now you and your children can live. So many months you were just trying to survive. Now you can live," which is that is a blessing in itself. When you wake up and you don't have to deal with that person all the time, and they're just not in your life. You don't have to see them. You don't have to hear their voice. Done. And one of the key from that is stay strong and going no contact. That wasn't a problem for me because I've always been able to cut off someone that was rotten to me when it was time. My cutoff game's stronger than Edward Scissorhands. That's just how it is. But I had literally had to slug it out for about 6 months before I left and keep it quiet because I know the covert narcissist person that she was and how manipulative she was with people. Had she had any hint of what I was going to do, she would have ruined it. And I couldn't let her in on that at all whatsoever. And I wasn't going to. I kept my mouth shut. I bit the bullet until I could get myself together, call some people, get my plans in place to get out of the situation and get my kids out of there and be done with it. And never went back. Didn't even went back to even get any of my other stuff. Because me knowing her, if I went back to get my stuff, she would try to make up a lie where I was living in South Carolina at the time and get me, probably make a lie, call the cops, try to get me arrested to get me back. These people are sick. These narcs have no boundaries. There is no ceiling. Once they're just out of their minds and they're not aware of it. It's weird. It's like they just do stuff that doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. It's just incompetent. There's an old saying that says incompetent people don't know they're incompetent. Well, that is so true with a lot of narcs, believe me. But once I left and stayed no contact, I really dried up her narcissistic supply because I was basically the glue that held her together. And me just being a nice person the way I am, I'm a firm dude, but I'm very supportive to people I love and care about, and I'm there for them. But that was taken away from her. I kept her in balance with all the things in her life, with problems with her family or anybody else, and I was kind of the voice of reason. And she didn't have that. And I knew she was going to go off the rails, but she spent all of her time telling me, "Oh, I could leave, or I'll leave you, and what are you going to do? Where are you going to go?" And I'm like, yeah, okay, you clearly don't know me that well. Or you're underestimating me and overestimating what you're worth. Okay, you're ain't gonna keep me around with your attitude like that. You know what I mean? I can go ghost and be fine. And so I left. I ended up getting my restraining order that's been in place since August, and it's good until it was good for a year, which I will go to renew because in the process of this being gone. And of course, she lashed out. The smear campaign kept going. But once I put my other video on Facebook and so many people saw it, everyone just turned on her. Even her mother turned on her. And I thought, what I realized with narcissists, you have to stay proactive. So when I left and then she pulled her stuff and I got my restraining order, I stayed active. I stayed active with her, and as dangerous as she was, and I stayed proactively doing stuff to stay one step ahead of her. And one thing that you need to realize that you have is that you know your narc better than almost anybody. So if you know how they are and how they're going to respond and react, you already know what to do ahead of time. You just need to do it. And that's exactly what I did. I knew if she was kept off balance and didn't see it coming, and I stayed on the offensive and stayed quiet, and she had no way to contact me, I'd have the situation. I already knew that. I knew that months ago. Before I even left, because I knew her personality. If you know the personality, you know how to play them like a fiddle. You know what I mean? Because they are so textbook. All these narcs are the same way, or addicts in the same way. They have the same patterns. They do the same thing. You know what I mean? So once you step back from the situation, say, okay, this is how they run it. Okay, I'm going to do this, that, this, and they're going to be right where I want them. And that's exactly what happened. Because I left and she didn't know where I was. Once I got my court order, I was staying somewhere where she knew I was, but she couldn't come near me in a different state. And then, poof, I was gone. I changed my phone number. I withdrew from social media. My accounts that she hacked, I changed them. She hacked my Google account and all that stuff before. I changed all of that. All of that, and no one knows. Even only close family even know where I am right now. Close family and friends know where I'm located. You know what I mean? I'm located nowhere near her, and nowhere would she would think. Okay, and no one wherever I am would even remotely know her, but I took myself off of social media and kept myself unseen. And when I took away her narcissistic supply, she just imploded. Okay, she imploded. She kept going with her addiction, trying to lash out at people. She was lashing out on people that commented on the last video I did when I posted it on Facebook. She commented on that and was attacking people and just proved my point for me. Completely proved my point. Everyone said, wow, she really is stupid. So you need to stay firm and stay who you are. And if you have good people around who know your personality and know your character, that goes a long way. And then when you start putting the situation out there, you don't really got put out there that much. But when you speak up for yourself, people say, okay, now I get it. And they'll disregard what that narc says if they're your true friend or family and truly care about you and know your character. Character speaks so much for who you are. And I had people in high school that were standing up for me. I don't even talk to anymore, but they just knew who I was and knew all the smearing that she was doing was just a lie. And everybody turned on her. Okay? And from what I hear, she lost her children. All right. But she was still trying to contact me. Okay. And through email and other ways, my old email and things like that. And she still tried to contact me a couple times, actually 3 different times. Tried a Facebook message on Messenger. I don't own Messenger. But also two different emails. Even giving me her number and begging me to come back. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? This was, I think, in November, so it was like a month and a half ago. Begged me to come back, but if you look at their messages, it's all about what you can do for them. I miss the way you made me feel. I miss what you did for me. It's not, and you won't really hear them, even if they do say they're sorry, it's going to be a hollow apology, more than likely. Okay, but she never even owned up for everything she did, all the lies she told, all the mess she tried to do. She tried to have my kids taken away, and my brother's kids taken away. I was staying with him when I was going through the court case where I lived before with him. So, and she sent the state over there claiming all this stuff, and the state found out what was going on. And they said, okay, they knew it was bogus. We had to go through the protocol with my kids and his children, with the state, which is the thing. But then they ended up phasing us out and saying, no, it's not even going on. We know what's going on. I can't put them in contact with the domestic violence advocates I was working with. And they realized, okay, this is who it is. And she's just trying to cause problems. You guys are good. There's, my brother is actually a pastor, and his children owns a home. His children are good. Cause no problems. Well standing in the community. He's a good stand up dude. And try to get my brother's kids taken away. Like I said, they have no limits. But once you couldn't get a hold of me, they'll try to attack everybody else. But you have to stand firm and stay strong every step of the way. And I would never even think of even contacting her again. I never would. You know what I mean? Because what are you doing? You're shooting yourself in the foot. Matter of fact, you're shooting yourself in the head. You don't go back to a narc, especially an abuser. And if you want to look more at my story, go back to my other video that's on here, Men Dealing with Domestic Violence, and you'll see the whole beginning story of this. But what happened is that through all this stuff where I've withdrew and you couldn't see, she didn't know where I was, what I was doing, who I was with, and especially, ladies out there have a problem if they have a thing for a guy and they don't know if he's with somebody else, they'll lose their mind. But she slipped back into her addiction habits. And she moved back to a state that she was at before, which is actually Indiana, and stayed with her roommate and his girlfriend and ended up stealing from them to support her crack addiction because she was so far into that. Actually stole a guitar. And because I know people who know people and can find people. Of course, my narc didn't know that, but I can figure this stuff out. But I never told her that. See, always, when you're dealing with a narc, be the smartest person in the room, but don't say anything about it. Keep your wisdom in your back pocket. Okay, just make sure you keep it in your back pocket. When you need it, use it. And that's what I did. And I found out what she had done, and that she went back and she had stole this guy's guitar, which was worth like $500 to $1,000, and pawned it. And he was looking for her. So upon further search after that, found out that she had been arrested in Michigan, December 5th of 2019 for possession of crack, and then she could not make bail. So I was like, her addiction, she was alienated, her whole family alienated her from what I've heard and stuff like that. She lost her children because of her addiction and how she was, and also because some of the stuff I said to prove who she was. And, even though she was gaslighting me the whole time I was with her, like her mom who took her kids actually probably knew I was a stand-up guy. She absolutely knew that. I was a good dude doing everything I should have done. So I think when it all came out, even her mom turned on her and knew what was going on because her mom knew she was an addict and her problems. But anyway, she got arrested And so I wanted to do that. We found out that she was there. So me being who I am, because she has a warrant outstanding in the state that I filed my petition in. She was in contempt of that because she was supposed to return back my late wife's ashes to me and my children. She didn't do that. So we had a hearing, which she didn't even show up for. And the judge found her in contempt, didn't believe anything that they said. Her lawyer said anyway, issued a warrant for arrest. So now she was over now. So now she's over in that jail in Michigan. So me doing what I do, and I'm, again, being proactive against these people because that's what you got to do, okay? Once you get them down, you got to keep them down because they are relentless. She was relentless coming after me. And I don't doubt she probably will still try to be relentless, trying to find me or find my children and find where we are. She's one of those sickos that if I can't have you, no one will, and like end up in like, try and do like a homicide, suicide thing or harm one of my children or harm me and then cry about it and can't believe it and kill herself and that's how it goes. No. Nope, not going to be my life story. Okay? First of all, she never does find me again. Well, let's just hope that doesn't happen for everybody's sake. But needless to say, I'm not afraid. But I decided to call the jail where she was, or where she is, excuse me. And I found it out right before Christmas, too, by the way, which was just great news. Probably 4 or 5 days before Christmas, found out she was locked up, which was just so peaceful. So peaceful and just deserving. What goes around comes around. So what I did is I called the jail and I confirmed that she was there on their line. Excuse me. And then I called and I spoke to the prison guards there and I said, "You're holding this person, blah, blah, blah." They said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I want you to know she has a warrant in this state and that's who you're holding. She is on the run from this warrant and she's been ducking it and that's who she is." The guy said, "Well, I don't know if she's going to, if they're going to, extradite her because, it's a civil warrant and you never know. And usually they probably don't." But I was like, "Well, you need to know, you need to pass that along. That's who she is. That's who you're holding in that jail." He said, "Okay, well, I'll pass it along." So, okay, cool. Hung up the phone. I said, "You know what? That's not good enough." So me having the connections I do, I found out who the prosecutor was in Michigan in the county she was in. I called up the prosecutor's office and I spoke with them. I said, "This is what's going on." They said, "What law agency are you with?" I said, "I'm not with one. I'm the victim of her domestic violence. And so you guys need to know who you have in custody." And then I told them my story of what happened. Again, refer to my other video. You will see the story about all that stuff, what we went through. She said, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry you guys went through this stuff. Can you do me a favor? Can you send me the warrant? So that way we have it with the prosecutor's office. We have it. We will have the case number. We're not going to miss anything. And we will know the dates of the domestic violence. We'll have everything that we need." I said, "Absolutely." Within 5-10 minutes, I shot off an email, gave her inmate number, her charge number, her name, her date of birth, the county where she was being held, and I sent the warrant to them in an email. And I also noted, because she had a forgery charge back in 2014 in Indiana. So what I did was said, "Hey, just so it needs to be noted, she has this forgery charge," and I actually have a copy of that because I have it because of our case that we had. And I said, here's her cause number. This is the date it was filed, and this is the date it went down." And they were like, they messaged me back, said, "Received. Thank you so much. You have a Merry Christmas." And I said, "I will now." So basically, interesting enough too. And the next day, someone tried to hit my sister up on Facebook, which I wasn't on, because I've withdrawn from a lot of social media, and tried to get my number. Someone who used to talk to her that very same day. I called in the morning. Later on the day, someone who was cool with her, was like a distant cousin of mine, and was cool with her and was trying to get my phone number from my sister. My sister's like, "Yeah, I can't give that out." And then this girl's like, "Oh, because of, so-and-so?" And my sister's like, "Yeah, no one gets his phone number because I change it. No one needs to know where I am or get a hold of me unless they need to." You know what I mean? And so I said, "We'll do this." I said, give her this bogus email we have. Give this bogus email, which won't even go to me. And we'll see what's going on. Because I got friends who handle stuff like this. So my sister's like, "Okay, give it to her." She's like, "Hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah." Couple things. She's having a conversation with me. "So how does it feel to be a free man now?" Referencing my relationship with my ex. And I said, I had the person who was contacting with them, which was not me, but I was in contact with everything that was being said or going to be sent. Said, "It's so much better now that we're not dealing with a crack addict who's a narcissist, who's domestically abusive, who's an abusive person. Life is so much better for me and the kids. Life is great now." Never heard nothing back from that. cousin, distant cousin after that. Which showed me all I want to know. This is how these narcissists work. They will go through any channel that they can to get to you, and you can't let them. Okay, and the worst thing for them is for them to know that you're doing just fine without them, because in their head, you are nothing without them. And once they realize that that's not true, it just destroys them. Me leaving her destroyed her. Her and me going no contact destroyed her. You want to destroy your narc? Have nothing to do with them. Live your life. Be happy. Have no contact, no nothing. Don't even let them know where you are if you can possibly do that. I know some people are married. But if you can, get away from them. Get far away from them. Have nothing to do with them. Ghost them. Cut them completely out of your life and just live. It is the best revenge possible. Best revenge. One of the best revenges, I think. You know what I mean? I think in this situation, the law will do their job. You know, in this case, with me giving the information I did, because I'm not playing around. She won't give back my wife's ass. She put me and my kids through all this crap. I had to leave. Y'all didn't even know where I had to drive to go to get out of the state to where I am now with my children, start over again with nothing, but it was all worth it. I left my job because of my children's safety. Because of my children's safety and mine. Okay, physically, no, she's not going to beat me up, but she would try to harm my kids. I'm sure she would. She's that unstable. Okay, no matter what they say, these people have no, like I said, they have no ceiling. There's no limits. These people are crazy. They're just not there. You know what I mean? They're sick. They're absolutely sick, these narcs. Sick. You know? So you got to stay away from them. But it absolutely made her just lose it. Because now she knows I know where she is. She has no idea where I am. But everything's coming down on her, or has come down on her. Okay? And the lifestyle she's living, it wouldn't surprise me if something bad happened to her. I don't wish that on anybody. I never wished anything bad on no one. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? But I know the risks of people running lifestyles and robbing people and being a drug thing. You know, I've been around for a while. You know what I mean? That's never good for someone. But, you know, that's not by my hand if something happens. But I do know what's in my control is to protect my children, because your safety and the security of you and your family comes first no matter what. I left everything. And where I am, I found a home, which is awesome. I found a home in my neighborhood and with the church that I go to, and just people that are, you know, I have around me, making new friends and stuff like that. It's just awesome. It's just such a blessing. You know, so I don't have to deal with that any day. Just imagine this. You're dealing with that person who's an absolute nightmare. Gives you all those horrible feelings, you know, when you see them, or, you know, even if you leave the narc, if you see them, that you get that feeling in your stomach that you're just disgusted and you're just that nervous, feeling you want to jump out of your skin. Yeah, imagine not having to deal with that anymore. You don't have to wake up and deal with them being abusive to you verbally, physically, mentally, or emotionally. You don't have to deal with that anymore. It's gone. And you're actually at peace with your life. In that part of your life, you're at peace. And that's all you need. You know what I mean? That's all you need to know to understand that you need to get away from these people. Okay? Women are victims of domestic violence. Men are victims of domestic violence. And enough guys need to stand up and keep saying something. As long as I got a mouth and I can talk, I will always tell my story to people. And I will never, ever keep my mouth shut when I need to say something. And I'm not ashamed of it either, because it's true. And I took the high road. I did what was right. I didn't respond back with violence, even though if someone did, would deserve it, absolutely. But I said, let me just leave. I'm not getting wrapped up in any more of this foolishness. You know what I mean? So I just left the situation, ghosted her. Go no contact, stay that way, live your life, stay proactive. You know them, play them like a fiddle. Play them like a fiddle. You know everything about them. Everything about them. My advocate told me that. So look, you guys know them more than anybody. Use it to your advantage. And I was like, you're absolutely right. And I have. And I've stayed 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of them at all times. Don't let it consume you. This doesn't consume my life. I don't sit here and think about it all day long. I don't do that. But when I need to do something, I need to act. I'm on it and I'm all over it. All right. It probably took all about, when I found out she was in jail, half hour, 45 minutes for me just to get everything I'd done, write down all of her information, call the jail and call the people. I was done with it, hung up, happy about it, done with it. That stuff does not consume me. And I enjoy my Christmas. I enjoy my time with my family. Okay, and if you got family and friends to support you, that is awesome. But also, if you have family and friends that are pointing out the red flags to you, someone who's being emotionally abusive, you know, or whatever, any way abusive to you, you need to listen to them. You need to listen to them and take that into consideration. Take a step back outside of yourself. Okay, and do what you have to do to keep yourself safe. If you got to bolt right away, or you got to wait a little while and play it cool like I did, make them seem like everything's fine. Because one of their worst downfalls of a narc is their ego. They think everything revolves around them and they have it all figured out. You know what I mean? And when you have it all figured out and don't say anything, they realize how dumb they are when you've done what you've done and you've ghosted them. And they have nothing that they can do about it. Okay, trust me, they're not nearly as smart. They're not nearly as unvulnerable as they make themselves seem. They're probably the softest people around. Okay, they are. My ex, she's a marshmallow. Okay, and she's mentally weak. I knew this for a fact. She always would call me say I wasn't like mentally strong. I'm like, you kidding me? I buried my wife. I've raised my 6 children by myself. I've lost many people in the same year. Like, I've done this by myself for a while, and I still walk around with a smile on my face, being happy to people because that's my personality. I'm just built like that. I'm wired. I'm wired to handle a lot of hard crap. But she would always tell me that I wasn't. But again, what they do, project. She was projecting on me. So I already knew everything that she was. So she's going to fall apart. You know them. Play them like a fiddle. Work around their weaknesses, which they have many. If they're going to suffer, let them suffer from their own decisions. Don't you dare feel bad for them. No one should be violent or hurt somebody else. But by you leaving and them imploding, that is their fault. That is not on you. That is not on you. That is not your responsibility. You let them bear the weight of their own burdens and let what goes around comes around and get them. You understand? You focus, you live your life. Love your family, love God, move forward. Pardon me, I'm a little sick. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm glad that some other people watch my video. I'm going to put this on there. So refer to my first video for that one. Drop a like on this one. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think, okay? Men dealing with domestic violence, narcissism, and drug addicts, okay? Anybody with an experience, go ahead. Feel free. Drop something down there, okay? I've had talked to other people, and it's real eerie how the same cycle is completely similar to someone else who's gone through this stuff. It's going to be different in some ways, but it's going to be similar in a whole lot. That's just the way it is. But anyway, my name is Jesse Morris. Like this video, drop a comment. I appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself, and be strong. Okay? God bless you. Take care.